What you get up to in the comfort of your own vehicle is your business. The moment you get out, it's my business. And frankly, sir, that is not going to wash. This is premium family entertainment. There is no chance we would continue to win prestigious television awards if we were ever to start this important public service broadcast with gratuitous high-definition footage of someone putting their exhaust pipe on display. Every day, more and more road users are filming their journeys, which can often end in disaster. Pioneered by motorists in Russia and Eastern Europe, dashboard-mounted cameras are constantly recording our behavior on the roads. From the bizarre, to the ridiculous, the funny, to the downright dangerous. The thousands and thousands of dashcams around the world have captured just about every mishap you can think of. Now we're going to delve into this treasure trove of stupidity on the roads. Put things right by pointing the finger of blame. Replay the action to see what really happened. And of course, there's nothing like seeing other people's mistakes when it comes to helping us become better drivers. And please remember, on all the clips, yes, that's all the clips we show, no one, and that means no one, is seriously hurt. So drive safely. Not everyone is this lucky. Coming up on this episode of Car Crash TV, more moments of extreme idiocy from the roads around the world that, had they happened in Britain, would have resulted in reprehensible breaches of the Holy Highway Code. Article 242, you must not leave your vehicle or trailer in a dangerous position or where it causes any unnecessary obstruction of the road. Article 179, well before you turn right, you should use your mirrors to make sure you know the position and movement of traffic behind you. The one about really putting your foot down actually being the best practice when driving on snow and or ice. And from Pam in our HR team, why driving without some of your wheels can represent a valuable step forward for the health and safety of your staff. A robust self-improvement technique is to admit when you've messed up, unless you've been found naked in the ladies' sauna, at which point pretending you've got an acute brain disorder could be a great option, as I proved that night in Santorini. The police were very understanding, although 6 weeks of detailed cranial CAT scans was a steep price to pay, in drachmas. Anyway, my point is, there are moments in life when it just might pay to admit it. I've made a mistake. Nobody except users of mobile adult websites enjoys the long commute home through traffic. Look, I've got it under control, and those compromising chatroom pictures were totally faked. One group of drivers just sit it out. One lot jump from lane to lane to save seconds and give themselves personality disorders in the process. And the third just dive headfirst into oncoming traffic in a desperate bid to make it home for the one show. That dig was mine! If Matt Baker hadn't come along, I hope he trips over his sheepdog. If there is one thing I know about BMW drivers, it's the restraint they show at traffic lights. You won't see this lot showing off. Starting a pointless drag race in sub-zero conditions. Oh dear, it is awful to see a flash car skid out of control and smash into a lamppost, especially when it's not even his fault. Tech news now, and a brilliant new app from these pizza delivery chaps can predict when trams are going to crash around town, and people will need sustenance while it's all sorted out. Pepperoni, anyone? I've brought the dough balls too. It's all right. You can claim it back on his insurance. It's not just car drivers who are taking chances, though. This coach driver is on his way to the Girl Scout of the Year Awards with Norfolk Owl Squadron B, and nothing is going to stop him arriving on time. Except maybe that. All those cookies sold, and for nothing. Look, here's a pretty basic tip for you drivers out there. Don't drive around with a massive 2-foot model keyring blocking most of your windscreen. No wonder this guy crashed. Now, I know fuel economy is an important consideration for environmentalists, but not putting any fuel at all in your moped is an absolutely terrible idea. Switch on the engine, you cheapskate. Get ready for instantaneous relationship breakdown in 3, 2, 1. Et voila. Wowza! A lot of fast-moving cars on this big road. Thank goodness that car is waiting patiently to turn left. Yes, still waiting. Good lad. It would be stupidity to go now whilst it's so busy. Still holding firm. There's your window. Take it. Take it. Take it now. Now it's too late. Oh dear, the curse of performance anxiety. What do you do if you suddenly realize halfway through a turn the lights were on red? Just ease gently back to your starting position. Then as soon as you can, leg it. The bigger they are, the better. Oh, sorry, that was a line from another script I'm voicing this afternoon. If you have any sense, like me, you give the biggest vehicles on the road space, because they barely even take notice of us little folk from up there in those metallic towers of theirs. That's right, the monolithic monsters of the motorways are back, and we'll have you screaming into your windshield. Trucking hell! Trucks don't obey the rules. They're like the
crazy bungee-jumping gap-year dudes of the roads. Yeah, if they see a rule, they'll snap it in two, even if that rule looks like a level crossing.
But forget all that. What? How? Welcome to the vehicular version of rock, paper, scissors. For the purpose of this game, the truck is the rock and the car is the scissors. And as we all know, rock beats scissors every time. I wonder what paper is. Of course, an articulated lorry is paper. It's obvious when you know. Best practice when driving a small lorry is to stick to the two inside lanes and don't use the fast lane to overtake. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's the law. Can we check that, please, Neil? Well, if it's not law, judging by the powerful conclusion of this clip, it should be. Is that popular Disney villain Cruella de Vil? Are those Dalmatians driving that lorry? Sadly, this clip has come to an end, so we'll never know. Nice big orange box, though. Some truck drivers have been guilty of collecting refuse and then fly tipping on the side of the road. Well, I'm calling the council because it's got out of hand. And what's he dumped in the road? Chinese lanterns, watermelons, giant cranberries? Take it to the tip like everyone else. And no, you can't put brown bottles in the green bottles bin. You want to know what is harder than steering your car out of a spin on a wet road to avoid a collision? Steering your transporter carrying a massive digger out of a spin on a wet road to avoid a collision. There's a scientific formula for that. Momentum equals mass times a massive pileup. A bin man's job is to put the garbage in the back, but to save the council money, he can just shunt it along the road instead. Oh, God. There's so much wrong with this clip. First, who builds a bridge out of that plastic stuff they put over strawberries in the local allotment? And that's before we even get to this maniac lorry. Why isn't he slowing down? Did he not see the red light and the build-up of traffic? I know you're in a hurry to get to your artistic life drawing class, mate, but crashing down the central reservation is over the top. Plus, the model is that fat old man tonight, so it's really not worth it. Coming up later on Car Crash TV, oh, larder alert! It's weird and wonderful. We get away from the rat race in Out in the Sticks and head to the White Rose County for another pageant of motoring prowess in Yorkshire parking news. But first, a lorry, a built-up area, snow, rain. The possibilities are endless, but it's up to you to narrow them down to one as I ask, what happens next? It's double trouble. Welcome back to Car Crash TV. So what did happen next? Well, I actually own a little garage on the outskirts of Carlisle, and nothing irks me more than when a vehicle sails through its MOT without even an advisory. In such instances, I like to ensure that the vehicle will be back in my garage post-haste. Hear that? Wheel nut's a bit loose. Fire up the chip and bin machine. You'll need a wheel balancing too, £95 plus VAT. When I was a child, my father used to take me to the circus. My favorite part was the bearded lady, but that's another story. All manner of strange conjuring tricks would catch the eye. So watching the following clips takes me back to a magical time. Plenty of clowns driving these cars. Welcome to the world of the weird and wonderful. Roll up, Sometimes something so extraordinary comes to the circus that words can barely do it justice. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's not on the left side, he's not on the right side, he's coming straight down the hill and across the road. Then bounced back again. How did that happen? Where did he come from? Where was he going? Sometimes, people, the mystery of the circus must remain forever magic. Larder alert. Nothing else to see here. Apart from the car behind with his entire rear end missing. Move on, people. Who doesn't love classic film Mary Poppins, crammed full of great songs like Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Feed the Birds, Step in Time, and of course my favorite, Let's Go Fly a Bus. I mean, come on! What the hell is this guy doing? Is he a bus fetishist making a video? Is he attached to the bus by an invisible piece of fishing wire? No, he actually is flying a kite that's attached to the high-voltage tram lines and being dragged along by the bus. These people are bananas. Car sharers. Sometimes it's hard to agree whether you should be going straight on or turning right. So why not compromise on diagonal travel? You've got to hand it to those hardy soft-top motorists who keep the roof down whatever the conditions, rain, snow, nuclear holocaust. They've paid for this luxury, and they'll be damned if they aren't going to enjoy it. Health and safety, colleagues. I've been watching this clip for weeks now, and I just can't seem to figure out what was wrong. I'm told there's a violation of protocol, but for the life of me, I can't spot it. Email me, chaps. Let me know at this year's HSE Inspector's Ball on Friday. I'll be on the top table as usual. Well, this is a waste of my time. It's an empty road. Right, you lot. You'll be out on your ear if you come up with any more useless... Sorry, I should never have doubted you. What's going on here? Lightning strike? Random power outage? AC/DC concert? Welcome to paradise. A place to enjoy your summer break with guaranteed sunshine, excellent cuisine, fine wines, and of course, the locals. Ah! It's a zombie town! Run away! Don't let the zombies bite you! Where's my shotgun? Well, folks, we've reached that time in the show when I feel the mood is right for us to have a little bit of fun. And that fun is taking the form of an interactive, tasteful game show segment that we like to call Hit or Miss. The rules we've kept simple. A crash is on the cards, and we want you to guess if it will end with a hit or a miss. You get me? Let's play. And we're off. And the keen-eyed amongst you will have clocked that white car up ahead whose driver has decided to make little or no use of her wing mirrors. She's coming into this lane and nothing is going to stop her. But will this lead to a hit or a miss? Let's find out. Check it out. Yes, a hit. Onwards. Uh-oh. Here comes a bully in a black SUV. This can't end well. But by barging his way into our lane, is he going to hit the car we're on board or miss? He's missed. However, the car we're on board has hit the curb. Double bubble. How satisfying. In this part of the world, at a roundabout, you give way to traffic coming from the left, unless, of course, you are this guy. But will his flagrant disregard for the law see the stripy car we're traveling in hit or miss? It's a miss. Lucky boy, and not even an apology. Youth of today. Oh, for pity's sake, adjust the aperture on your lens. I can barely see a thing. I can, however, just make out that undertaking idiot on the scooter who's on a collision course with that white van. But will he hit or miss? It's a hit, and as my old gran used to say, undertakers end up with the Undertaker. Heed her warnings. Join us next time, friends, to play more Hit or Miss. It's a big, bold, beautiful world out there, and I want you to experience it, but safely. For all the gags and pratfalls, this is a show with serious public service purpose, and that's to teach you all the things that can go wrong if you don't follow the highway code. So I've compiled a list of my top survival techniques to help you on your way, and never more so than in the wilds. Stay safe out in the sticks, my friends. Top survival tip number 1. When you're travelling down winding roads, sometimes wild creatures can come out of nowhere and you might have to go head-to-head with them. If that happens, just make yourself as big as possible and watch as they flop and drop before you. Then you can all stand around gormlessly afterwards and talk about it. If you want to really experience nature in safety, sometimes you might have to establish yourself as the leader of the pack. Cover yourself in animal dung and always feed first after a kill and watch as the pack falls in line behind you.
Just make sure you're always at the front, when on the move. That way you won't end up getting any nasty surprises from behind.
If you're galloping across the land, make sure your line of sight isn't blocked. Nothing worse than coming a cropper to a slow-moving rhino, elephant or four-door family estate.
Adverse weather conditions can spell disaster if you do not know how to protect yourself from them. Always wrap up warm, layer up, and let migrating mammals cross your path undisturbed.
During the autumnal months, the woods can be distracting. The beautiful colors of the trees, wondrous birdsong, and smell of pine cones can all be very tempting to admire, but make sure to keep your attention on the path. One misstep can cause inconvenience if you're not careful.
Rainy days mean slippery surfaces. Whether you're climbing, hiking, or merely rambling, you should make sure you watch your step. No one wants to end up face down or bonnet down in the mud. Pack enough supplies for long journeys. You'd be surprised how much energy you'll need on those long-distance adventures. A handful of nuts and raisins, some chocolate for sugar levels, and plenty of water are useful to stop you from losing energy and passing out. If you plan on exploring the bush, be sure to know what local fauna may lie in wait in the flora. Snakes, spiders, bored mondeos, all sorts of dangers lurk in those bushes, mark my words. Yorkshire, the county revered by all others, not just for its scenery, crumbly cheeses and murky beers, but also for its parking. Yes, this is a county where the folk behind the wheel take a particular pride in placing their vehicles in a suitable spot. From the multi-story to the municipal, wherever a Yorkshireman chooses to park up, you can be sure it'll make for some spectacular viewing. So it's over to Jeff Bird for our latest bumper crop. This is Yorkshire Parking News.
Evening all, and we start today in Bradford, and look at that space there. It's a beauty, ready and waiting for a Yorkshireman just to slot his vehicle neatly in place. Yes, that's right, he was lurking behind the camera and came in from the side to execute a flawless manoeuvre. And look at those lights being flashed in genuine appreciation for the skill of the man. Heathley really is a magical place, and it's particularly breathtaking in the summer months. Perfect place to admire a young amateur removing himself from a tight slot. A delicate bump confirming the elegance of the move. Castleford, and here we have a perfect example of the unselfish Yorkshire parker. Concerned about the flow of traffic and not his own suspension, he neatly places his car on the curb, delicately done, and crucially, no one inconvenienced. It may look to you folk that there's not a space to be had here in Rotherham, but you'd be wrong. The civic-minded Yorkshireman will always find a way to maximise available parking for the townsfolk. We Yorkshire folk are a kind bunch, like this Samaritan on the roads of Essel. Sensing his brethren's urge to park, he does the gentlemanly thing and gives him an helping nudge. A gentleman and a scholar. Up in Ripon and the weather's balmy for mere mortal folk that might cause an issue when it comes to bringing their car to a standstill, but not to a Yorkshireman. Placed that perfectly and facing right way for morning commute. I'll see thee soon for more Yorkshire parking news.
Everyone is trying to get somewhere in life, and most people would agree that the fastest route from A to B is a direct line. But what if a C gets in the way, and maybe a D too? Well, then it becomes easy to have an altercation and end up with an F on your driving test. Time for some awful script writing and even more awful overtaking. Overtaking someone on the inside is a stupid thing to do. However, understanding that if you run out of road, you should make use of the pavement instead is advanced level. Unless you come across a pedestrian, but these are just minor details. They say BMW drivers have a sense of entitlement and believe the road belongs to them. But I've seen absolutely no evidence to back up this theory. Hang on, what's he doing? Is he digging a grave or taking a... Anyway, it certainly caught the red car's attention. Strange color for a hearse. One of the best things to do in winter conditions is accelerate up to 90 mph and shoot past a truck on the wrong side of a narrow road. It works every time. This bloke has been listening to too much Grace Jones. Pull up to my bumper, baby, was a sexual euphemism, not a driving instruction. In the golden age of Hollywood movies, there were often scenes where characters would play chicken, either over the edge of a cliff or head-to-head on a track. Everyone loved a good car showdown, and no one wanted to be the chicken. But neither of these drivers could be accused of being chicken. The one making the dangerous overtake could even be labelled as a bit of a rooster. Red Scott, Marty. We've got to beat that train if we're going to make it back to the future and save your parents. No, the train is blocking our view of the epic fire tracks and sparks from the time travel. Not fair. Every time I phone for a taxi, I get the same response from the controller. Oh, he's just around the corner, love. He'll be there in a couple of minutes. For once, I just love a taxi driver to arrive on time and with some sense of urgency. Is that too much to ask? This cab seems in a hurry, and it hasn't caused any problems so far. Oh well. Bus it is, then. A rare treat for you now, viewers, and a first for our show. Car Crash TV Multicam. Yes, forget all your fancy sports highlights programs with their magic pens and Hawkeye technology. This is where you come for the latest groundbreaking high-tech broadcasting wizardry. Stick your 4K up your... Snow, no street lamps. I know. Why not overtake? Conditions are optimum. You cretin. You know earlier when I said conditions are optimum for overtaking, you do realize I was being sarcastic, don't you? I need to work on my delivery. In life, there will be moments where danger bears down on you and there is nowhere for you to escape. Just do as I do. Curl into a little ball and release your mantra. There's no place like home.